Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Hannah. I'm a senior at Kalamazoo College. I study philosophy and psychology, and I'm going to be graduating this year.
Great. When and where did you study abroad?
I studied abroad in Bonn, Germany last year, so 2015 to 16.
And how long were you abroad for?
I was abroad for 6 months, but my stay got extended to seven, so 7 months in total, really.
Wow. And why did you decide to study abroad?
Um, so there's a pretty, I think, big expectation to study abroad at this school in particular. I chose to study abroad because I hadn't really traveled very much and I was interested in doing that. And I didn't think that I'd get an opportunity like this. I also wanted to go to Germany because I study philosophy and in general I study German 19th century philosophy. And Bonn is an institution that's pretty well known for its philosophy department, so I thought it'd be really cool to be able to study there my major.
Nice. So were finances a concern for you? And if they were, how did you afford to study abroad?
They were a big concern for me when I was planning out my budget, especially for travel. For our school, the tuition abroad is the same as just the tuition here. But before I went abroad, I was saving a lot of money and working a lot. I also worked while I was abroad, so I got a grant to stay there for a longer period of time, which really helped me financially. And I was also babysitting and tutoring while I was in Germany, which also was really helpful. So in the end, everything really worked out.
Wow, that's really creative ways for developing some financing and thinking about budgeting. That's good. So, can you tell us if while you were abroad, if you experienced any discrimination, or did you feel you were treated any differently because of how you identify?
Yeah, Germany was really interesting to be a place to be at because the time I was there was also the time of the migrant crisis. So I think there was a lot of racial tension that was going on. I also have been raised my entire life in the States, and I think there's different racial politics that happen between here and between homogenous countries like Germany. So since I'm phenotypically Asian and have phenotypical Asian features, I experienced a lot of people kind of being very interested in where I was from and being surprised that I was an American, and the definition of an American was very different from my own definition of what an American is, because I consider myself an American, but in Germany there weren't a lot of people who did. And there was also a lot of racial catcalling that happened, which made me really uncomfortable. But I think that experiencing a lot of these things, and also I was working at an immigration center at the time, so was kind of questioning a lot of stuff about race and also reading a lot of literature about it for a research project that I was doing. So in the end, it was, I think, a very informative experience. It was also hard at times, but I think I had a pretty good structure there, so I had some friends who were going through the same thing, and we were able to talk about it. But yeah, I think I did.
Wow. And to piggyback off that question, did you feel like you had a support system or people you can go to express your concerns that may have happened, throughout your program?
I had a friend who experienced more or less the same thing while she was in Germany, so we talked a lot about that. I was always able to talk to my family about that. So I think I did. I wish that there had been more of a very obvious institutional structure that I could have gone to, which I feel was lacking. But I definitely had the resources and the friends to, make me feel comfortable throughout that.
Good. Okay. And lastly, what advice would you give to a student who would be interested in studying abroad, but is a little bit fearful, very hesitant? What advice would you give to that student?
So I was very, very nervous about going abroad. It was kind of a big decision on my part, and I was really considering not doing it for a long time, but it ended up being super fun, and I think has made me a far more resilient and brave person. So to people who are kind of considering or not considering or on the fence, I would really suggest you do it. And if you do it, definitely go out and search for opportunities that are available around you. There's always very interesting things and interesting people happening abroad, and I think that just kind of going out and looking for it is a really good way to grow as a person, but also enjoy your time in whatever country you're in.
Great, fantastic. Well, thank you.
Thank you.